To ask the Scottish Government what its response is to reports that the prisoners released under the Prisoners Early Release Scotland Act 2025 included some who had broken prison rules.
Cabinet Secretary Angela Constance.
Officer, the Prisoners Early Release Scotland Act 2025 now allows most short-term prisoners to be released from prison after serving 40% of their sentence instead of 50%. A breach in prison rules does not form part of the exclusion or eligibility criteria for a person's release from custody, as this process of using the prison rules to amend a person's liberation date ceased in 2001.
Tim Eagle.
Figures uncovered by the Scottish Conservatives revealed that almost a fifth of prisoners released as a result of the SNP's early release scheme broke prison rules while serving time. Our communities are rightly worried about the heightened risks of reoffending that come with that. Does the Minister agree with me that it is important we don't have a perceived soft-touch justice system? And what's the Minister putting in place to make sure that our communities are safe?
Cabinet Secretary.
Presiding Officer, with a prison population in excess of 8,100, I have to advise Mr Eagle with respect that there is nothing soft about our justice system, but the reality is our justice system could certainly be smarter in terms of rehabilitating people and getting that shift where appropriate from the use of custody to the use of custody disposals. As I said in my original answer, that it is many decades now since adding additional days to someone's sentence. That ceased more than 20 years ago. We have to remember that our prison rules are subject to legal challenge, but nonetheless they are always kept under review. And it is important to recognise that with the correct planning that took place both with this piece of legislation and with the earlier emergency release provision, that the return to custody rates were certainly lower than reconviction rates.
And briefly, Audrey Nicholl.
Thank you. Can the Cabinet Secretary provide an update on what assessment has been made thus far of the impact of the Prisoners Early Release Scotland Act on relieving some of the acute pressures currently being experienced in our prison estate?
Presiding Officer, the implementation of changes to the short-term release point made by the Prisoners Early Release Scotland Act 2025 resulted in the release of 312 individuals, and the Act will have a sustained impact, with the sentence population expected to be around 5% lower than it would otherwise have been. And taking this action was essential to support the health and well-being of those working and living within the prison estate, and the implementation of the Act has eased some of the immediate pressures in our prison. However, the population remains at a high level, and this is only one of a range of actions to get a more sustainable approach to the use of custody.